You know, I still get chills thinking about that flight from New York to Atlanta. The one that turned a routine trip into something straight out of a movie where prejudice crashes headfirst into karma. And let me tell you, it was brutal. Picture this. Two sweet 13-year-old black twins, Ava and Aria Thompson, sitting quietly in first class, dressed sharp in their little matching outfits, braids with those shiny beads catching the light, noses buried in books like any kids killing time on a plane. And then bam, this senior flight attendant, Karen Fletcher, swoops in like she's the queen of the skies, her voice slicing through the cabin sharp as a knife. Girls, grab your stuff and head back to economy right now. We've got complaints about a smell, and I can't have that ruining everyone's comfort. Man, the nerve of it hit me like a gut punch when I first heard the story from a friend who was on that flight because there was no smell, nothing, just these polite kids minding their own business, tickets paid in full for those premium seats, thanks to their dad's frequent flyer perks. But Karen? Oh, she had her reasons, deep-seated ones that went beyond a bad day years of stewing in her own biases, assuming folks who looked like Ava and Aria didn't belong up front, probably fueled by some twisted mix of envy and old-school entitlement from her time in the industry, where she'd gotten away with sidelining minority passengers before, thinking they wouldn't push back. The twins froze for a second, wide-eyed innocence meeting adult ugliness, and Ava, the older one by a whopping 6 minutes, pipes up calm as can be, "Ma'am, I think there's a mix-up. These are our seats, see? Boarding passes right here," holding them out like evidence in a courtroom, her voice steady, but with that kid quiver underneath, the kind that makes you want to hug her and deck the bully all at once. Karen's face twists, not used to kids questioning her throne after all. In her 18 years slinging drinks at 30,000 feet, she'd mastered disguising her hang-ups as policy, targeting families she figured were easy marks, maybe because it gave her that petty power rush in a job that otherwise felt thankless. She leans in closer, voice dripping sarcasm. "I don't need to see those, sweetie. Complaints are complaints, and it's my call to keep things comfy for everyone else." But the lie hangs there, obvious, because nearby passengers start shifting, murmuring. This elderly lady, Mrs. Lee in the seat across, who's been knitting since boarding, looks up puzzled. "What smell? These girls have been angels, quiet as mice. I've been right here the whole time." And then Mr. Harris, this sharp-dressed lawyer type folding his paper, chimes in firm. "Yeah, no odor here, and these kids are handling this better than most adults would." The tension builds like a storm rolling in, Ava and Aria exchanging that twin glance. The silent, "What do we do now?" that siblings know so well inside. They're probably scared, hearts pounding, wondering why this lady's picking on them when all they did was exist in a space she deemed off-limits, a space their dad had earned for them through hard work climbing the corporate ladder. But their pops had prepped them for this crap, drilling in lessons about rights and respect during family dinners. So Aria, usually the quieter one, finds her voice. "Our dad told us if anyone tries to boot us from paid seats, we ask for written complaints and talk to the pilot." Karen laughs, bitter and mocking. "Oh, your dad, huh? What's he, some expert? Let me guess, works the baggage claim?" Her words laced with that ugly classist jab, assuming their family couldn't possibly afford or deserve first class, her prejudices bubbling up unchecked, maybe from her own frustrations with a stalled career, seeing successful black families as a threat to her worldview. Passengers are pulling out phones now, recording, live-streaming. College kid in the back whispering to his followers, "This is straight-up racism. Y'all, watch this unfold." And the cabin's buzzing with outrage, Mrs. Lee declaring, "This is shameful, bullying kids like this," while Mr. Harris announces, "I'm noting every detail. This screams discrimination." Karen digs in deeper, threatened by the pushback, her ego bruised because these little girls aren't cowering, escalating to fine. "If you won't move where you belong, I'll make it a security thing. Have the captain toss you off, the where you belong slipping out like venom," stripping bare her real motive, that deep-rooted bias against anyone who didn't fit her narrow idea of who gets the good seats, perhaps stemming from her own unresolved resentments in a diverse industry that was changing faster than she could handle. That's when the shift hits, the counterpunch nobody saw coming. Ava pulls out her phone, dials with steady hands, and suddenly their dad's voice fills the line, warm at first. "Hey pumpkins, everything okay? You should be wheels up by now." Ava spills it all, voice cracking just a bit. "Dad, this attendant's making us move, saying we smell, but it's not true, and she's threatening to kick us off." And you can feel the air thicken as he asks for her name, tone sharpening like a blade. Karen grabs the phone, smug at first. "Hello, this is about your disruptive daughters." But then his words boom back, calm but lethal a mess. "Fletcher, this is Marcus Thompson, CEO of Sky High Airlines. You've just harassed my girls with fake complaints, racial bias plain as day, violating every policy we have." The cabin goes dead silent, Karen's face draining white as the truth slams home. Picked the wrong targets. Her pattern of sidelining minorities over the years, documented in HR files she'd thought buried, now exposed by the big boss himself, who rattles off stats. 18 incidents in 5 years, mostly against folks of color, and now my own kids? "You're done." She stammers excuses. "I didn't know. Just following protocol." But he's unrelenting. Voice like thunder. "No protocol for racism. You're terminated. Effective now. Security's coming." Passengers erupt in whispers, then applause as the plane taxis back. Karen is escorted off in a walk of shame. Media swarming the gate thanks to the viral stream. Her career in ruins. The airline launching a full probe that led to real changes, better training, kid protections, the works. Ava and Arya, whisked to a private jet, hugging their dad in Atlanta, stronger for it. But man, it shouldn't have happened. Marcus's fury wasn't just paternal, it was about fixing a system that let this fester, turning personal pain into policy wins. Looking back, it's wild how one woman's unchecked biases unraveled everything. But it makes you wonder, does real change only come when power gets personal, or can we spot and stop this stuff before it escalates? What do you think? Have you seen something like this play out, where prejudice backfires big time? Drop a comment below, share your stories. Let's talk about justice in the everyday, because stories like this remind us we're all on the same flight, right? Hit like if it got you thinking, subscribe for more real talk tales, and share if you believe in calling out the Karens before they crash the party.